This is going to be the Elphaba video, and so I've got Elphaba from Five Below as well as Office Max. And so I do a video where I compare both the kits together and a separate one, and I also have another video where I just do Glenda. So this video, I'll go over a couple basic pattern readings, maybe some basic crochets, and then kind of show you how, over the process of how I made her. I'm going to make them both. Okay. And if you enjoy crocheting, buying crochet kits, maybe you want to learn, be sure to subscribe to my channel. So I've got plenty of other things. Maybe leave a comment suggesting something you want to see me try. So like this video. Thanks. Okay, so I already made the Five Below version. She's right here. And if you watch the Glenda one, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to walk you through making her with the Home Depot one. Here's the thing. So the black yarn can be tricky to work with because it's harder to see the stitches. And it'd be a little harder to see on camera. And so her body is actually the same as Glenda's body. So Glenda and her, they have basically the same body. Main thing is she's just done it all black. So her legs, right? And then her legs, you got the shoes and her skin and then the skirt. And so if you want to watch my Glenda video and do the body up until the head, you could just meet me back at the head and come back here because her shoes definitely the same. I'll show you a little on camera how hard it is to see on camera with the black yarn. So let's take a look. Okay, so here with the Elphaba 6 single into a magic ring. The Glenda was still the 6 into the magic ring. So row 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And so Glenda, you change the skin color. And then so this one you just keep going with black. And so your best bet is just to watch the Glenda until you get up into the head portion right here. So, and right there, the head portion. Okay, so the only difference in the feet is, so row 8. So this one says in back loops. And so this one you're just doing a single crochet. So really, you just do the back loops for the slip stitch. This one, number 7. And then when you get to 8, this one just does in the back loop. So you just keep going until it's just single crochet 10. So you just ignore this back loops one for that one. And then just do single crochet. And her feet and her legs are basically the same. And then the body, every line is the same, right? 13, chain 2, 14. So 14, single one, increase 28. 15. Okay, so this one's 3 rounds for 50. Okay, you just don't change it to pink. You just keep going with the black for the Elphaba one instead of the Glenda. The Glenda, you're just changing the colors, and then you're just continuing with the rounds for Elphaba instead of changing the colors with Glenda. Oh, and then another one is 24, is in the back loops only, but it is the same. 3 single, 1 decrease. So you just don't do the back loops only, because that's with the change the skin color to her dress here. And so her dress, you know, just gonna stay in the black. See how that works? Okay, so if you bought both, or maybe bought this kit, do recommend making Glenda first. So that way you can see the stitches, kind of get a feel of what you're doing before you start working with the black yarn. But if not, don't worry. So if you just want to make Elphaba, it's okay. So you're going to go to my Glenda video. And I'm going to do the pattern reading, the tips and tricks on how to crochet amigurumi or things like her in the Glenda video. So I'll have all that information in that one. And then you're going to make her body all the way to the neck portion, okay? And you're going to come back here. I'm almost going to tell you a little bit of how to work with black yarn before you go over there. So it's good to have plenty of light or a light source. Sometimes I got this little neck light. You can use like a table lamp, reading lamp. Just have like a light really close to you so you can kind of, you know, show up your stitches when you're trying to look at it up and in the light. Kind of so you can see the stitches a little bit better. So just shine that light, you know, like right on your work. It helps. And then also you're going to use a lot of counting. So counting is going to be your best friend with working with black yarn. Another friend is some stitch markers. I like these little metal ones. They do get a little pointy, but you could also get the plastic ones. They're just a little bit thicker. And so I find those a little bit harder to work with. When I did Glenda, I use yarn instead of a stitch marker. So if you don't have a stitch marker, you could use that. And I'll tell you I will tell you in the Glenda video. So when you watch that one, you can see how I use yarn instead of a stitch marker to mark your place. Some people, when they work with black yarn, they'll put a stitch marker into each stitch. That's so much work. I don't want to do that. Too much work for me. But if you really want to be that particular, I just rely on counting. I put my stitch marker, count all my stitches, I work, and I also use my fingers to feel the stitches. And so I kind of just like feel them, and then I use my counting. So you kind of just feel that hole. So if you can't see where the stitch is, you can just know. Based on experience kind of helps too, but you just kind of feel where the holes are at, and they all have the same spacing. And so that's how I work with black yarn. All right. Okay, so just pause this here, and we'll come back with the body. Okay, so now you should have a body that looks like this. Every time I see it too, it looks too small. Like, I'm like, that's just legs. But once you add that head, so we'll see her here, right? And here's that. And that goes up to the head. So once you add the head, it'll look right. See how she looks right here? I mean, yeah, it looks funny right now. But once we start adding the head, it'll look good. So we're going to cut the loop. I'm going to pull that loop out like this. And don't need to leave it too long of a tail because I'm just going to stuff it in there. Now, if you want it more secure, maybe you want to sew it in or something. But don't worry about that. I just cut this there. And then just take it, stuff it in the body. And then we're going to grab our green yarn. So this green yarn, I would need to ball it up. I'm trying to tie it here. So it can easily get tangled when it's like this. So I'm going to try to find... All right, so we got these loops up here. See these loops? So I'm going to take my crochet hook. I'm just going to stick my crochet hook into all the loops. It's kind of going like this in the loops. So let's go back. Okay, so all the loops like that. Then we're going to go down. I'm trying to find that middle section. So it's like here. Okay. Just have to split it. This is the best you can get it. Okay. So slowly take it while it's in the air. The other kit came in a nice little ball, but this one, let's have to ball it up. You could also put this on maybe a back of a chair, or you got a yarn winder, You could do it that way. But if you work for it like that, it's definitely going to get tangled. You could also have a friend maybe hold their hands out like this. If you're just by yourself, like me right now, just kind of unloop it as I go. So we do got some tangling happening. So we ball this. Let me see where it's going to tangle at. There. Let's let my ball kind of go around it before it gets tangled. There we go. Pull it more and just keep balling it. When I ball it, I kind of rotate my ball around. So I get like a lot on the one section, rotate it, go to the top. And once I get enough yarn, it's gonna go around. Kind of just follow the yarn and like scoop the ball into it. So do this. I just take my ball. Okay, just like that, until we're almost done. Just my arm a little there. I'm going to take that ball just around, sometimes in the corner. All right, so now I have this little ball, and so it's going to be the head. So I did actually run out of black yarn when I was making her, and so I have extra black yarn that I use that's in the same size and thickness. That's how I did the finisher. But if you don't have extra black yarn, don't want to go out and get any more black yarn. To make sure you have enough for, well, you could maybe make your stitches tighter or something, but basically I just didn't have enough to make her arms. And now I could make her skirt a little bit shorter, just make sure the arms are good. So I recommend making the arms before you do the skirt and the hat, because you can also make the hat just a little bit smaller. So here's the hat here, see how big it is. And it was looking really cute when it's on a smaller size too. And so that could be an idea, just but make the arms first and then decide, would you rather the hat shorter or the skirt shorter? And that'll be the one that you make last. All right, so you're gonna take the body and make sure you have 12 stitches. So make sure before I cut the yarn that I had 12 stitches here. And so now connect my black yarn, connect my green yarn. Okay, so the front is where the feet stick out and the feet are flat. That's the back, right? Front and back. So I want to start with the back. Stick my hook in one of these. And I just grab my yarn. And I just kind of leave the end kind of in her body. All right, so we're just going to do one. Pattern for the head. That's where the head changed to green and back loops. I'm going to do 12 single crochet. Just go in. I do one here because I do single crochet. I'm going to do a single in the same as our chain one. And then we just go around and get 12. Okay, and I just connect that with a slip stitch to complete my circle. And so we go on 2, 3, single, 1 increase 6 times. So just 3 single, and then an increase. To get that, I just attach my ends with a slip stitch. And moving on to 12 increases. So that's big. Okay, so connected with the slip stitch, and we're going on to row 27, which is 12 increases, making 24 stitches. So that's 2 stitches in each one, 2 singles in each one. So here we do 2 singles all the way around. Okay, so now you see how the head's starting to come out. There's your 24 stitches around. Move on to the next row. Okay, next row is 3 single, 1 increase. And then after that, we're doing the staggered stitches again, which is 2 single, 1 increase, and then it's going to go 4 single, 1 increase all the way around. And then you're going to end with 2 single, 1 increase. So if you put your stitch marker, and put it right here. And when I end, I want to end up having 2 after that increase. All right, so I do 2 single in here. So I like these nice little wired ones, so that I can just stitch around them. On the plastic ones, you might have to put the stitch after. So let's just put that. All right, 2 single. And then 1 increase, and then we're going to do 4 single, 1, and then end with 2 singles right here. So a single here and a single here after that last increase. Okay, now when you take the stitch marker out, this is nice little wiring. There you go. And I think I bought these ones on Amazon. But use the plastic. You're just going to have to put it here instead. Okay, we'll move on. And so I just did the 4 one. Right, and then we're going to go 5. And then after 5, we're going to do 31 to 36, just 6 rounds. And so I just get 6 little objects. That 1, 2, 5, 6. Okay, so then I have 6 of these, and then I'll just do like each row. I do 1 row, and then I do the next row, and I just move these each time. So that way, if I know, oh, I did 4 done, and I just have 2 left to go. And so then once I'm done, use all of them. And so we still have to do the 5 single, 1 increase. I'm going to do that. And then I'm going to just do 31 to 36, 42 rounds of that. And then we're going to meet back at 37 here, which is going to be our decreases. So I'm going to meet you back at 37 right before we start 37. So we're going to do 30, 31 to 36, okay? All right, we'll meet you back in a moment. Okay, so now your head is looking like this right here. And so we're going on to 37, just 5 single, and then a decrease. That's what my stitch markers will know where I'm moving. 5 single, and then I just decrease the next one, and then all the way around 5 single, 1 decrease, all the way around, so the head will start to come inwards. Okay, and so now you notice we're just going backwards because you did the 5 single decrease, right? And then we're going to the 2 and then the 3. And then you're going to start stuffing the head after the 3. So I'm just going to skip ahead so we're looking like this. And so after you did that 5, you know, that 4 again, you do that 2, and then a decrease, and then 4 all the way around, and then you end up with the 2 single again. And then we're going to do the 3. And so we're going to meet you at the stuffing section, okay? Okay, and so from here, I'll pull this out so I don't lose my stitch. And I'm going to take some cotton, stuff this head. I'm going to leave a little because I do put a little bit of it in the arms. So you do want a little bit for that. I'll just save off a couple little pieces for each arm, because her arm, so I didn't stuff Glinda's arms. But her arm, she's got these puffy sleeves, and so I just save a little bit for each arm. Otherwise, you're going to use up all the cotton you have left. Stuff it in that head. And then I'm going to make sure you got the feet in the front, because we're going to put the eyes on. Okay, so for the eyes, we go halfway in the head. Okay, so your feet are up there. I'm going to put them not stuck in yet, so you can play around and just decide where you want her eyes. So they get them even. You can see this line here, right? As long as they're both on the same line, they should be next to each other. So I probably think right about here. There she is here. Do make them a little wide because I had that nose on there too. So there's her faces. And I think this looks good. So for the backings, you can leave the cotton in there, or you can take the cotton out and then put the eyes in. It shows good on there. It's not going to come off. Let's see her other one. Get her in there. Okay. So now we were here. Okay. Well, so I think I'm on 40. 1 single, 1 decrease. All the way down. Okay, yeah, so this is the staggered again. So 1 single, 1 decrease, and then the 2, and then go all the way around. Okay, so I'm running low on yarn, so hopefully I have enough for her hands and her nose. So we're gonna play some yarn chicken with that. So after that is the 1 single and decrease, and then the 6 decrease. Okay, so not too much more, and I'm running low on yarn. Okay, and if you did it right, you should have 12 here for the final round. So then we just do 6. Right, so we had 12 here, and then we're doing 6 decreases, and then you'll end up with 6 stitches around, and then we just take the yarn, kind of weave it through, and close it up. So I'm gonna do my decreases, and I'll show you how to finish it up. Okay, so now I've got my 6. I'm just gonna cut a small piece of lawn yarn, but just enough so that way I could stitch it around the head, right? Should cut it in there, but okay, so like this. Got my needle. All right, so now we just thread the needle. So I thread my needle. All right, we're just gonna go weave it in. It's kind of like over the one. So one over this one, under this one. And pull it. So under, over. Right. Look at that head. I'll close it up. Then we're gonna cover it with hair anyways. So I'm just gonna feather that way. And again, and then that yarn, I just stuff it in. Like so. All right, so now we got this little, this alien looking thing now, right? No arms. So we got to do the hair next. Well, we're gonna do the arms next. And then we got the hair, the skirt, and the hat. Okay. Skipping to the arms, making 2. So do 6 single in magic ring, right? And then we're just gonna do another 6 single through that. Six in here. I keep my ring on the tiny side too, okay? Don't need to be that big. That's 2, 3. Okay, after I got 6, I'm going to connect it with a slip stitch, right? So it's like this. So I'm going to go in here, and then like that here. All right, so 2 to 3 is just 6 around, okay? I'm going to do the chain 1 for the first row, and then I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to go around, okay? I'm going to do that 2 times. 2. So with the small ones, there's 3. I tend to just count and not add that stitch marker because it gets kind of in the way when I'm working small. So I'm on 3, so I'm going to 4, right, and then 5. Small things can be kind of hard to do. And so now I got 6. Okay, so that's row 2. And then I got row 3 to do after this. All right, I'm just going to recount 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, good. We're working good. And so now I'm just going to do the single crochet in this one. Because I'm not increasing or anything, you're going to start to get a bowl shape. And we want to do the bowl shape actually this way, because there's a right side and a wrong side. And so on the right side on the outside and the wrong side on the inside. Okay, so I need to do 6 more. Okay, so that counts as 1. This counts as 2. 3. Okay, so once you get 6, right, we're going to change the black. So I'm going to do the slip stitch. So this is the one I did it in here. See there. So this one, and go, and I'm going to grab the black yarn. Grab black yarn and do my slip stitch with the black here. Okay. That a little. So in the arms. Okay, I think that's not too tight. And so just in the back loops, we're going to do 6 single crochets. And because I changed colors, I don't have to do the slip marker yet because I know when I get back to the block, that is where my row ends. And so this row, I don't need to use a stitch marker, but for the next row, I'm going to go back and that stitch marker, or I could do my counting too, because this is 6 still of the black in those back loops. And so those back loops is going to give these front loops up. So we got kind of like her sleeve and then her hand in the back loops like that. Okay, so now I got all that around. So I'm going to cut my green. So let's see, I have enough just to do a little knot with the 2 ends. So I got this much yarn to do one more hand and her nose. So I think I'm going to make it have enough green yarn to finish her up. It's not with that. Cut them off. Okay. And then, so over here in the back loops, you could sometimes, if you have the paper, you just make little marks and stuff where you're at to kind of remember. So in the back loops, that's 1 round there, and then I'm going to do 5 and 8, so 2 more of the 6 singles around. Okay, so now your arm will look like this, and then we're going to do 6 increases. So we have 6 stitches, and then we do an increase in each one, and that is going to give us 12. Okay, so now I got this arm. It's going to be on like that. So we just got 1 more row of decreases. So I think that's looking pretty good. So I'm going to do my 1 row of decrease. So it is just 6 decreases all the way around. So we're going to go back and get 6. And so this will give her a nice little poofy sleeve after doing 6 decreases in here. Okay, just like this. All the way around, 6 decreases. And then after that, we're doing 2 more rounds of the 12. So I got it looking like this. I'm just going to go all the way around. Okay, just make sure that you have 6 going around here. That is one of the arms. I do add a little stuffing in here. Whatever writing stuffing you have, just split that in half and stuff it up. So get one more yarn and just repeat this whole process and make one more arm. Okay. We could cut this off too. Actually, let's go with this. Leave enough so we can do a little sewing it up. So, so the tail, sew the arm on. Let's make. Okay, so now I got two. I'm trying to get them to look exactly the same. To be kind of hard. But now on camera they're looking. No, one's just a tiny bit beefier than the other one, but they're gonna be on the other sides of her body. So, okay, so you look at her like this. The arms will be on each side, and so then we'll have her hair and stuff covering it too. So not the one. Maybe just more stuffing in this one. This looks a tiny bit beefier than the other. Right. Okay. Okay. So it won't look too bad on her. Just sew them on. Here. Okay, so I just stick the needle in her body, pull it through, and then stick it into her arm again. Pull that through and just go all the way around her arm, making sure it's securely fastened onto her body. Okay, so I don't know if you can tell now, the one arm is a little bit beefier than the other one, but you know, this is her spelling arm, so she gives it a good workout with her one. She's like, but once you get the hair on her, you're not gonna notice the arm difference. And of course, you do see that white cotton in here. So I know with the legs, I'm going to cover up with her skirt. You can actually purchase black stuffing, but I'm just going to use the one that I got because if you have the kit too, it's just going to look just like this. And that's just how it's going to be. Okay, so I'm going to end up skipping the skirt for now because I know I ran out of yarn on her. And so for this one, just in case, I'm going to do the skirt last because I think I want if I run out of yarn, she'll just have a short skirt and show off a little more leg. But, so I'm going to make her hair next, and then we're going to make her hat. So for the hair, use black yarn, 6 single. So we're just making this little circle. So 6 single, 6 increase 12, and then 1 single, 1 increase. And we're going to stop here, and then I'll show you how to make the strands of the hair. First, I'm going to make this circle here, okay? All right, so when I'm done with my circle, I will have 24 all the way around. And then I'm just going to complete this with a slip stitch here. Just to make this nice even round circle. And I can take this out. All right, so now we're going to look at this here. Okay, so the next round we make the strands. So total 24. So you want to make sure you have 24 stitches. And so strand 1 to 15, we're going to chain 36. And then back from the second chain from the hook, we're going to do 35 single crochets, okay? All right, so I'm going to go and chain 36 right here. So 1, 2, all right, so we're going second chain from the hook. This one I'm skipping and I'm going in here. I'm going to do a single crochet. I'm going to keep going, doing a total of 35 single crochets all the way down till we get to the bottom. Okay, and then it's going to curl just a little bit. It's not going to be as curly as Glenda's hair. So she has these little curls. This one's just a little more of a straggly curl. Let's see on her with her hair here. Look how cute, right? Okay, and then once you get to the end, we're going to go to the next stitch in here and just do a slip stitch. And then from there, I'm going to do 36 chains and repeat this process. I'm going to repeat it a total of 15 times. Front of her hair, right? It's her little bangs. We're going to call it bangs. So there's about 4 of these little bangs. So I got 15 plus 4, and then I'm going to do 5 more of the 36. Okay. All right, so now that we have 15 hairs, 15 strands of hair on here, then I'm going to go and do the 4 strands going with 16 into there. So 15 with a 36, single chain 35, and then I'm going to chain 16 and go from the second chain from the hook and do 15. And so you'll get those little shorter hairs here. And then after that, we're just going to do a few more of that to make it 24 around. Okay. All right. So once you get those 4 done, it'll look like this. And then you just got to do the final 5 back in the 36. I don't know about you. I'm definitely going to be glad once I'm finished with the hair because it's. Okay. So I finished the hair. And so I'm low on yarn here. And so I still got to do the hat and I got to do the skirt. So I might have enough yarn to do the hat, but she does look cute in pants and no skirt. So if you don't have enough yarn like me, somehow I had enough yarn for the besides her arms. So I don't know. The Five Below Kit is the one that had a little bit more yarn for her. And then this one, the Office Max one, I'm running low on the black yarn. But what's a witch without a hat? So I'm definitely going to make her a hat. I have more yarn, so I'm probably going to make her skirt too. But if you don't want to go out and buy more yarn and you're running into this problem, you might think no hat or no skirt. But I'm going to try to see how much yarn I could get. So for the hair though, do you want extra yarn to do the sewing because you got to sew that hair in? So I'm just going to cut a nice long piece here. Have enough to now sew the hair on the head. I guess you could glue the hair on the head too if you maybe don't want to sew it. But I'm going to sew mine and I'm going to see, hopefully this is enough yarn for her hat. Okay, so we're going to work on the hat using the black yarn, 5 single in the magic ring. So this time, we're just putting 5 magic ring. Do magic ring. I'm going to just chain 1. If I get through, okay. I'm just going to make my ring small. I'm only putting 5 in here anyways. It just makes it easier. Not too small of a ring. Okay, but you want a smaller ring. Okay. This makes it easier. So go in here and we do 1, 2. Make sure it's through both of those. So got the tail. Kind of grabbing that tail with it. 2, 3. that. Let me just pull this. Attach it in here. Slip stitch. All right, and then row 2. So 1 increase and then 4 single crochet. So just only 1 increase. I'm going to mark with a stitch marker. Okay, so we're just going to do 2. Increases. And then we're going to use my counting skills. Make sure I get 4 and I go into each one. So 1, 2, 3. So we got the stitch marker here and the last one. Next row, 1 single 1 increase. Here. And this time it's all around. So 1 single 1 increase around and around. So remember, this one was just 1 increase total and 4 single. And this one is going to be 1 single. Okay, and then the tip is you're going to end with the increase. So you shouldn't be ending with the single. So I left my stitch marker on this row here. This time I'm going to make sure I move it this time. Stick it in here. But they do kind of get in the way when you're working on small stuff. But we're working on 2 single 1 increase this time. It's looking like a hat, kind of, like that little tiny point, little kind of cone shape here is what you should be getting. Okay, so it's 2 singles, 1 increase this time. And so I'm doing the singles first. I should end with an increase. Okay. And then once you're done with that row, you want to go and count and make sure you have 12 here. So the next row is just 12 around. And so I'm going to make sure I count as I do all of these, just to double check and make sure I have 12 stitches going all the way around. So that's 2, 3. And if you don't have 12, you end up having too many. You might have did too many in a stitch. So I kind of undo and go back. Make sure I do a total. Somehow it grows too much. So I'm going to undo some of that. Okay, so now I got this little hat looking like this. And so the next one we're doing is, after the 12, is 1 single 1 increase. And this time we're getting 18. Then after that, we do 18 single crochet. So yeah, 1 single 1 increase. And so doing, because the other time when we wanted that flat circle, we kind of kept going up. But instead we're just going kind of out in this cone shape. We're still doing the 1 single 1 increase. That makes sense, like when you were doing the circle, making China the circle shape, like her head. You're like 1 single, and then there was 2 single, 3, 4, 5. And so doing it this way, we're getting a little cone shape. Okay, so I already did the next 2 rows, the single 18 and then this row here. And so then we're going back into the 2 single and the 24 again. And just remember, you're kind of stitching from this side, going in this way. If you're going this way, if you're doing it like this, you're just working on the wrong side, and all you gotta do is flip it this way. So this is the wrong side, so see how the stitches look like this? Then we go this way, which is considered the right side, and see how the stitches look like this. And of course, you're working in like this around. And so if you're working, from the inside, you just flip it around. Easy fix. No worries. So this one is 2, and then an increase. And then we should have 24. So I'm going to do the next 2 rows. All right. Okay, so here now I got 24 stitches. And I kind of leave that tail in there. And so the next one is 3 single, 1 increase, and then gets to 30, and a round of 30. Okay, so I think now the hat will start to come out. Okay, and see how the hat's starting to go out like this? It's starting to look like a witch's hat, so now it'll start to come out like this. And you'll get that cute little witch's hat. Always, if your hand starts to cramp up, remember to just give yourself a break. You start feeling a little pain in your hand. Take a little break from crocheting. Just don't force yourself through it. I really want to get this done, and because I still got to edit the video and finish this whole thing. But yeah, be nice to your hand, because otherwise you can't crochet for a while. You want to damage it too much. But the video is going to keep going. So you can always press pause, take a little break from crocheting. You could tell by my nails, my hair, and everything that it took me a couple days to do this video, maybe a couple weeks actually. I took a huge break in between, and then I got back to her. Okay, the video is going to keep going. Don't worry. Okay, our hat will be looking like this. This is after the 30, and from here, I stopped counting each row. I'm too lazy to count all of that now. I just like to get, the first part definitely with the right count. And then from here, as long as it looks right, I'm fine. I don't need to count it all. But you can count if you want to. If you want to be a perfectionist, it's fine with you. I am running low on yarn. And I still got to get that skirt done. So this is where, like, once the hat, and it comes out a little more, you might want to you can just end the hat wherever you want, because it's your work. But I'm going to finish my hat up, since I do have extra yarn to get the skirt. But yeah, definitely want a little more brim to it, because right now it's a little wizard hat. Definitely cute. And so from here, you go 4, then increase, and then 36 around. And then this one's back to that staggered stuff if you remember before. So it's 1 single, 1 increase here. So I'm going to show you back at 14. So we're going to do 12, 13, and 14. Don't need to see step by step by that. And then I want to show you what it looks like right before I do 15 and before I move on. So before we start 15, your hat's looking like this. Right, definitely cute. And then so 15 is 3 single, 1 increase. And then of course the 2 single, 1 increase, 4 single, and then we're going to end it with a 2 single around. And I'm just going to finish up the hat, because it's just going to go kind of out more. So let's just keep going out. Is what you should be looking like. So I'm going to show you the final result in just a few minutes. Well, you're going to be seeing it really fast, and it won't take forever. Okay, so I don't even have enough yarn to finish the hat. But, one more row. I don't think that's really going to make a big difference. Definitely think the hat looks just cute, just like this. So I'm not even going to bother with that last row. It just makes it a little bit bigger. Don't really even think that makes a big difference. So it does. Okay, so it says to make invisible finish to hide the yarn. So I'm going to show you how to do that. So you got your yarn on your hook here. Pull that, make a nice long tail. And then we're going to cut it. Here. Just pull that. And my needle. I guess we got the needle here. Okay. So this is where I do my slip stitch. I just kind of pull it here like that. And I'm just going to duplicate a loop like this, right? And see, now I don't know where that finish is, especially if I take this out. And so for this, we'll weave it. And in, actually go in. Hide it. Back here. Just keep kind of weaving it through. Back up a little, not into the same spot it came out of. It's gonna go up and give it a pull and a little cut. And then here's her hat. And the inside tail. That's just, I just shoved that in there. I don't bother weaving that part. But now, so now I'm gonna make the nose by just getting a piece of the green yarn. Put that on my needle. I'm just gonna get a nice long piece. And we're gonna decide where we want her nose at. So here's the eyes, probably down, probably about here for the nose. Maybe here like this. Now it looks bigger than what I'm actually gonna make it. Just gonna put it through. Okay, so now I just go in here, pull it. Actually, even do that over. I'm trying to grab that. Okay, I'm just going to keep going around and around. And out the same holes. I don't know if that was working or not. I'm just going to stuff that other end right into our body. But it's going to go around. The more you do it, the more nose shape you'll get. The final one. Stuff in here. Pull out the back. Get my scissors and this pull. And when I pull it and cut it, it's just snapping to her head. And this one, go with my hook. Oops. Pull into the body. We're just gonna cut that cotton off too. If there was anything in there, just stuff it. And there's her nose. Okay, I'm gonna take a piece of embroidery thread from her eyebrows. Go. Here. Here. If you don't like her eyebrow, because I think that might be a little too high up, I want it a little closer, or maybe that's how I like it, but if you don't like it, just pull that baby out. So maybe get real close to the eye here. And that's not an arrow, so let's do it. Here, and then come out here. So I just go that line all the way to there. Okay, just like that. And these two are on this line. So I go here, maybe in here. I go out here, just staying on that line. Back up. I just go on the back of her head here. I shove this in here, like so. There. This one I can cut. This one I don't pull the same as the yarn because I don't want to pull her eyebrows too tight. But there they are. She'll look better with her hair and hat. Out of yarn. And so you do want to do, if you want to do the skirt before you add the hair and the hat. So then you don't have to deal with the hair and the hat on her head. I will show you how to do the skirt. I was going to pull up my extra yarn. But if I did her hair and hat, she's going to be looking like these. So, let her with just a little tight pantsuit. That is super cute. Okay. But let's make that skirt. Okay, so now I got some black yarn here. It's like a little bit thinner than the yarn they gave me. But it'll work. I just have that skirt to do. Okay, so if you remember where you did those back loops only, I'm going to turn around to her back, and that's where I'm going to put my hook into to start the skirt. And so we're seeing here. You can also look at the Glenda video because it's a little bit easier if you can't see it too well in this black. But you could kind of see where it feels. Like you use your finger. Okay, that is where I need to stick my skirt into. Okay, I thought I would just clip in the Glinda, putting the skirt in. I don't know if you can see it better with the pink. I know the pink kind of just blurs in with the pink, but I do just take the yarn and put it through those loops. So you just find those loops and put your hook through that. Okay, I'm looking here. So work into there. Turn her upside down. I'm going to work up this way. So that way we're working on the right side and not that wrong side. And then we're going to do the 2 single 1 increase all the way around her. Work with her upside down. That. I'm going to do my chain 1 here. And then I'm going to do 2 single. And then 1 increase all the way around. So I did make her skirt a little bit higher again, like the Glinda in this one. So I just added a couple extra increases just to make sure I get my count to where it needs to be. But I think the first row I'm just going to do the 1 and double, and then the second row I might just add the extra increases is what I'm going to do. You could do it however you want. You go directly exactly how the pattern is. And by now you should be a pro at reading patterns if you've gone through everything. And I'm seeing that you just got to really take your time and see where you put those front loops at. That one. Okay, this is where I started her. So it goes up just a little there. And so they're up because that's like the new round. She should go all the way around. Okay, so that's that round, and you just want to make sure you're working, you know, from this side and not underneath it. Okay, and so round 3 for the skirt is just around 37. So if you don't have 37 stitches, I just add a couple more increases. I'm gonna make it 37 since I started her skirt a little higher up. All right, so after you're done with round 2, she'll look about like this. So here's her with the skirt on the lower, the way the pattern says, and this is me doing it up higher. The way I think I prefer it, because this way, let's look like she has a little belly. She has her skirt a little up. And so, moving on to the 37 and 11, and so it increases, you do like 3 increases there. I think around 40, and then you do a 19 single 1 increase. And her skirt will just, you know, start to come down. And you can make her skirt as long or as short as you want. I might not make her skirt that long. This skirt actually made it a little bit shorter than what the pattern said too, so that was cute. You see her little shoes. Since it took me, you know, it was a lot of hard work making these feet, so I thought her show off her shoes. But you could do what you want to do. It's your pattern. Your creation. So make what you want. Okay, so I like her skirt at this length. I think that's really cute, and that's where I'm satisfied at. Not that I'm tired of crocheting, but this is what I like. I like it like this. You could keep going if you want yours longer. It's yours. You know. Make yours the way you want to, and then we're going to do that invisible decrease again. So let's just look at that one more time. So I just cut it in the loop, attach my needle. Just attach the needle. Go into this loop here, the next one, there, and just complete it there. I'm just going to go in that stitch there and then just weave it in. I kind of just go up her skirt. Keeping the yarn on the back side. And to the side a little. Final touches. Sew on that wig, sew on that hair, and then the hat. You can also glue it on if you don't want to sew them on, but just, you know, you gotta put the hair the way you want it. Off the side here, so we got these two, and then these two here, and then we just kind of sew on her hair. And you could also like kind of fix her hair with a couple, you know, stitches to kind of get it out of her eyes. And so with her bangs, so you got the two over here. Kind of just go down into the one. Let's adjust it first. Kind of in here. Pull it up into here. And that way it keeps it out of her face. Right? And I just go up and into the next here. Kind of lay that down. Kind of just go down and up and in. Do the same thing with the side. And I got her looking like this. You can always grab more yarn if you need to and just make sure her hair is securely on. And if you have extra yarn, we could just use that to help attach the hat. Place the hat on her head. You know, get a good place where you like it. So I go and attach the hat to it. This time I'm going to have her hat a little bit up on her head, or up more closer to her face. So this one, there, it's kind of more, kind of in the back. And then I want to do something a little different. I just have the hat a little bit more forward. So when you're looking at her forward, you can see that hat. I just, stab her hat again in, and then in her head, and up again on a different part of her hat. And not be too tight because that kind of pulls the hat in. So we'll just kind of go stretch out. Problem I had with this one is I ran out of stuffing. I kind of wanted to stay true to what the kit gave me, even though I did have to use extra yarn. And so her head could be just a little bit floppier. So if you get more stuffing, make sure you have enough stuffing in her head. So this was the Office Max one because I split the Glenda and the Elphaba one in half for the yarn. So we could have, enough yarn for both of them. I have extra stuffing, so if you have extra stuffing, just add more stuffing to her head to really make sure she's not a bobblehead. But here she is. And so this is my Five Below one, which did this one hang with a lot of stuffing. And so I had enough stuffing for her. And then here is the Office Max one. Fabulous. They're so cute. So they end up looking different. And yours might be like a little subtly different too. This one, the head ended up being a little bit bigger. So be sure to subscribe because I have Nightmare Before Christmas coming up. I'm going to get them as soon as I can. And then I also have the Grinch. So you're going to want to check those ones out too. And you can crochet along with me while I make these. And if you still have any of the Halloween ones, I have those ones up right now on my channel. So, thank you, and like this video. Leave me a comment if you have any questions on anything as you make yours. All right, bye.